Very sweet. A dangerous black market for this pumelo put every citrus tree in California at risk. I've been going to extreme lengths to see if I could safely bring this variety out of the shadows.
Citrus greening disease, it's killing trees, and it's happening right now in Florida and California.
Illegal tree sales from infected areas were a recipe for a statewide disaster. In Florida, infected trees spread the disease everywhere. This is Anne. She was born in Vietnam, and we actually met through our mutual interest in pummelos.
This pumelo, we call it Buoi Oi. Oi means guava in English, and the reason we call it Buoi Oi because it has a shape of a guava, a small shape of a guava, and it's sweet and it's a little bit dry, but it's totally acidless. It is not tangy or sour to the Vietnamese taste, so we love it. And many Vietnamese in Silicon Valley where we live, this pumelo is very, very precious to us. So I talked to Dan about Buoi Oi. He was totally unaware of this variety until I mentioned it. And I have a friend who grew this Buoi Oi at her house in San Jose.
The deadliest citrus disease in history is believed to have reached Florida and California via smuggled pumelo cuttings from Asia. By working with Anne's friend, we had the chance to provide a safe legal alternative and protect California's citrus. To make this variety legally available, Anne and I visited her friend's house to collect cuttings. I sent them in to the CCPP, the only program in California authorized to introduce new citrus varieties. They use a delicate process called shoot-tip grafting, followed by rigorous testing to create a certified disease-free version of a citrus variety. But unfortunately, all of the shoot-tip grafts failed.
In Vietnam, during the Tet, which is a New Year, we usually, culturally, we buy pummelos or bưởi in Vietnamese to display during the Tet, and to smell the aroma coming out from bưởi, because this aroma smells so wonderful, and that will perfume the whole house, and to us that means that will bring luck and good fortune to our family. So that's why there is a tradition to buy pummelos during New Year to bring luck and happiness and good fortune to our family.
Our first introduction attempt failed, but we didn't want to give up. So we went again the next year, and we went on Vietnamese New Year's Day because that was the day when all the pummelos would be gone from the tree, so we could collect some budwood. And not only did we collect the budwood, but we also had a Vietnamese feast, and I was able to enjoy delicacies, including pig's ear. That crunchy texture is a challenge for an American, but I greatly appreciated the hospitality, and the rest of the food was so good. What really struck me was seeing their ancestor altar. They had their most beautiful pumelo displayed right at the center, helping me to understand the cultural significance of this fruit. They even sent me home with a pumelo and some leaf-wrapped sticky rice. When I tasted their fruit, I realized that this variety solves a huge problem for many California growers. Being acidless means it doesn't need intense heat to taste sweet, making it viable in cooler climates where other pummelos stay too sour to eat. This is Lily. She was born in Hong Kong.
Yes. This looks like a smaller version of the satin yao, the Chinese ones. Yeah. It has a very good fragrance, like a good pumelo. I haven't tasted, so I'm looking forward to trying it.
This pumelo was only small because we were past the Vietnamese New Year, so the biggest pummelos were already gone.
Smells so wonderful. So good.
Let me smell.
Wow. So strong. That is the reason we buy pummelos during the Vietnamese New Year's, because we like to smell this fragrance in our house. I recall when I was in Vietnam, my mom, whenever she bought pummelos, can you believe or not, she bought a few dozens. Wow. Our house was not big enough to hold all the pummelos to display them, so we rolled them under our bed.
You can see exactly what the black market is exploiting. About a month after the second introduction attempt, I took a trip with Anne and her husband. We visited several small nurseries in Southern California. A few of them were selling bootleg uncertified trees, putting all of California's citrus at risk. See, here's the original graft right there. There's the original graft. And there's the new graft. These trees clearly weren't coming from a clean source. We needed a safe alternative. But then the bad news got worse. The second lab attempt failed, and Anne's friend, worried about our tree, refused to let us take any more cuttings. The mission to properly introduce this fruit was effectively dead. So is this how you would wear it on the head? Is it right?
Really?
Did you do it when you were a child, Anne?
Never.
How about you, Lily?
No, I didn't.
They don't do that in Hong Kong?
I think that boys would do that.
Yes.
But any boys, any of my brothers would did that to me, we have an issue.
After 2 failures, I wasn't ready to give up. I secured a grant from California's Citrus Research Board to work on this, but we were still missing a source of budwood. But Anne had one last lead, a woman she'd met on a bus in Orange County years ago. They had met right before the new year, and the lady had invited her to come pick some fruit. And fortunately, Anne remembered the location. Anne was a bit worried that the lady might not even be there, but it was our only lead. So I drove down there armed with a delicious bribe, 2 bags of citrus fruit that I thought she'd love. I knocked, and when she answered, I introduced myself and offered the fruit. I asked if I could take some cuttings, and I was so relieved that she agreed. So yet again, I collected budwood and sent it in to the CCPP.
So now I just like to cut like this so that we can eat. So Buoi Oi, I noticed that whether it's big or small, it's always drier than other Pummelos. But it's very sweet. Not very sweet, but it is. There is no presence of any acidity in this kind of in this variety.
So this one could be twice as big, this variety.
Yeah, sometimes they're bigger, right?
I bought a Buoi Oi. Do you remember that day? It was like this big. They call Buoi Oi huge. And that day was not during the test, so we were able to find a huge Buoi Oi.
And it's seedless. This one is completely seedless.
Yeah, seedless. It's very sweet.
Do you like it?
Yeah, the sweetest one so far. Yeah.
The sweetest one. So this Pummelo, I was in love with it, and I'm still love it, but I wish it's bigger.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
So anyway, because I only eat the sweet Pummelos, so I love Buoi Oi. Buoi Oi is one of the few Pummelos that I can eat. When I came to this state, I tried many type of Pummelos, and they're all tangy or sour to my taste, and I hate them all. Until I had this Pummelo, and I said, this is the best Pummelo that I had.
Very sweet.
And,
So sweet.
and it's dry, but not too dry.
Dry, but not to the point that we have to complain.
It has a very good Pummelo taste.
Good.
To ensure that the final mission to Orange County didn't end in failure like the others, I worked with the CCPP on an improved introduction protocol for difficult varieties. And I was able to take cuttings, send them to the CCPP, and successfully start the citrus introduction of this variety.
Wow, great.
Good.
For years, the only way to get trees of this variety was through the black market. I found root-bound bootleg trees like this one on sale for more than $100. A huge price to pay for a tree that could bring a deadly disease into your yard. But now there's a safe alternative. I'm happy to announce that the first batch of trees of this variety is now for sale on my website, along with a few other hard-to-find trees and also some of my personal favorites. You can find them at fruitmentor.com/citrus trees or scan the code. We can ship to every state except for Florida and Texas, and yes, that includes the quarantined areas of California. These trees have been grafted with certified disease-free budwood, and they're shipped directly from a USDA APHIS-approved insect-resistant structure, completely protected from the insects that spread diseases. Now I have a favor to ask. Please share this video with anyone who'd like to grow this variety. That'll help me sell out and keep this project going. But buy yours first. This first batch is smaller than I'd hoped, and I expect it to go quickly. Click here to watch some of my other videos on Pummelos and Pummelo hybrids. And if you're a retail nursery and you have customers who'd like to grow these trees, please get in touch. I'd love to help you serve them. And I'd like to give a big thanks to Ann and her friend from Orange County for making this possible.
Nice.